to basketball and beyond with Coach K. Here's Coach K and Dave Sims.
This is fun. We bring in a guy fresh off winning the national championship on Monday in resounding fashion. Scott Drew joins us, the Baylor Bears head coach. Scott, Dave Sims, and Coach K, how are you? Congratulations.
I'm doing great. How are you guys doing today?
Yeah. Hey, Scott, congratulations, man.
Thank you very much. I know you've done this a couple times, so yeah. I know how it feels now. I kind of like this.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I'm watching the game with friends, and I thought what the NCAA did with the national anthem was amazing. And I told the people watching the game, I said, I'm looking at the two coaches. I get chills thinking about it right now. I know how that feels. And so, winning, obviously you do it for the first time and it's unbelievable. But things like that, right? For that feeling that you had prior to the game, national anthem, doesn't get better than that, right?
Yeah, amen to that. The one thing I tried to do was look around and take it in, because I'd heard that's something you're going to remember for a lifetime, and I'm glad I was able to do that.
Yeah. Well, your team was amazing. You don't get a chance to watch a lot of teams because you're trying to survive with your own team.
Right.
But,
right.
Certainly the Big 12 prepared you well. You guys had such great games there. But you had a pause. And, you were playing lights out basketball. And then with COVID, during that pause and how you reacted back, I'm amazed at the level that you got back at. How did you handle that period of time?
Great question. I tell you, the first thing was I tried to reach out to some coaches like Izzo that had been in similar situations during the conference season. And the consensus that I heard back from most was it takes 2 weeks and 4 games till you get back. And once we got back, we ended up playing 6 games in 14 days, traveling 3,500 miles. So you were basically just playing, recovering, and prepping, and there was no practice time. So it's amazing our guys were able to play as well as they did. We won conference for the first time in 71 years. And then you go to the conference tournament, and you never want to lose, but what a blessing losing in the conference tournament, because we actually got to practice after that. Yeah. And Coach K, what's crazy is people, they don't understand when you take 21 days off. It's like if you're a golfer, if you don't putt for 21 days, you're not a good putter. Well, you can't go 21 days without practice and defense and being any good at defense. And our rotations, our closeouts, everything was off. And we went back to the basics. And that week before the NCAA tournament, we got better. And then the other blessing was being in the bubble. You didn't travel between rounds. So you were able to have a couple good practice days each week. And this is where, when you have a player-led team and guys buy in, at the end of the year, you have 2 types of teams, one that want to get better, and then one that just, hey, I'm saving my legs. I don't want to get injured. I'm worried about my stock or whatever. And our guys knew we had to get better, so they really practiced hard, and that allowed us to improve that last 3 weeks of season, and that's why I think we played our best basketball come the Final Four.
Well, you also had, although you had that interruption with playing, you didn't have interruption with how you started your team. You had the same starting lineup, right, for all of your games. And then rotation, just to keep guys healthy. That hardly ever happens. I mean, that continuity of people knowing their roles and that. So I know you say you practice hard, but your recovery and that, you guys must have done a great job behind the scenes, making sure that you had the guys ready for all those games.
Well, and that's, as you know, your strength coach, your trainer, they're so important. And then having guys that take care of their bodies. And we're only with them a couple hours a day. If they don't eat right, they don't sleep right, they don't recover right. And not often, even if you do all that, are you able to have the same lineup every game. But we were really, really blessed to have durable guys that took care of their bodies and obviously avoided injuries and recovered well from COVID.
I've said this, for the last few weeks, and I said it to so many people after. Your defense was the best defense I've seen in decades. reminded me a lot of Jerry Tarkanian's Vegas teams in the late 80s and early 90s. You moved as one. And when that ball was on the side, it was 60%, and guys were active and helping. And then my favorite on your team is Mitchell, man. The first time I saw him, I was hoping he would go into the transfer portal instead of the NBA. But what about that defense?
I tell you, what a blessing having him at the front of your defense.
Unbelievable.
He's playing hard. Yeah, he's playing hard. Everyone else is playing hard, but it disrupts everything.
Everything. He was my favorite player of the whole tournament. And what about the defense? You guys have won some zone in the past. You've done it. When were you totally committed to team man-to-man and the way you guys played it?
Well, you remember when we played you guys in 2010 and you guys won it all that year? We had a lot of length and we played zone, and that kind of continued up until the last 3 years. And then at that point, for some reason, we started bringing in recruiting. As you know, you take the best fits and then you're going to divide and make your system work according to that. And we had a lot of great guards. So that length that we used to have across the front line wasn't there. And the best defense for those guards was pressure man-to-man. And I'm not the smartest or the sharpest tool in the shed, but I'm not that dumb either. And these guys are really good at pressuring the ball and keeping it on the side. So we adjusted and sold out to that defense. Plus, some people in our conference play it, so you have to prep against it and practice it. We were good at it, so we went to that. And as long as you have those kind of lineups, I'm sure we will stay the same way. But if you got a bunch of 6'10", 6'11", 3s and 4s, well, that zone was tough back in the day.
It was pretty good. It was pretty good too. But your defense, the difference in turnovers. I mean, you forced about 17 a game. You only had 11 turnovers a game. Thank you for being on. I'm sure you're not asked to do anything. This
is the one question I had for you. You've won several of these. If you could go back to your first one, if you would look back in hindsight, what advice would you give yourself that I could learn from that?
Yeah, don't have a rear view mirror. Don't look back at what you've done. Look forward to what you're doing, and take the experiences of what you've learned in the rear view mirror, but not to look back. And I mean, right now, celebrate like crazy. And but if you're going to do this again, you got to get a whole new thing. But again, when I say that, take time to enjoy. And one thing, Dave, with Coach and his family, the Drew family has been a basketball family. I've known his father forever, and there was a proud papa sitting up in the stands, and also a proud family with your wife Kelly and Mackenzie and Peyton and Brody. To have that, and for everyone to remember that you didn't win it, you and your family won it. So congratulations and enjoy. You really took basketball to a high level and made our sport very proud. You were most deserving of being the national champion. So congratulations.
Well, thank you very much for that. And thanks for all that you've done for college basketball and helping us get to where we are today. So appreciate you, Coach K.
All right. Take care, buddy.
Hey, have a great day. Thank you, guys.
All right. You bet. All the best, Coach Scott Drew, head coach of the Baylor Bears, the national champion.